I have a little bit of time on my hands. I'm just hanging out. I'm on daddy duty. I'm literally relaxing on a Saturday evening with you guys. Thought it'd be fun just to kind of talk about a few things that have been going on in my life rather than just a beer review over and over and over again. That stuff gets so boring, man. I thought I would open a beer with you guys, but just a disclaimer, I've been doing a couple reviews. I didn't finish them because I want my wife, Danny, to try them later. Man, guys, Arvon, the Halloween drop that they actually distributed in northern Michigan was unreal. It was so good. These sours were just crazy. And I go into detail in the reviews on these. Like, I don't understand how anyone's ever going to match Arvon's quality or their recipes. Like, I don't feel like they're legitimate like old style sours. They're like more new age technology infused crazy recipe smoothie sours that nobody can stand up to. Nobody can match Arvon. Someone from out of state needs to just clarify with me, what do you guys drink for sours and New England style IPAs? Because I literally don't think Arvon can be matched by many people in the entire country. Um, these were unreal. So I did review them. That will be coming up very shortly. You guys need to keep a lookout for that. Man, these blew me away. They were so delicious. So today, I mean, I just pulled one from the fridge. I have the Berserker from Oradoc, which is Marquette, Michigan, UP. My UP boys, holla back. Um, I thought I would just sip this with you guys. I haven't had this in like 5 years. I feel like I had this like 4 or 5 years ago. Pole Barn, what up, man? How are you? Good to see you on here. I'm just doing a Saturday hangout, very chill day. Yeah, beverage hunters. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, these are crazy. I just talked about these. I reviewed them. They were next level, crazy good sours. Nobody's ever going to be able to match the quality on these. Next level. But back to this. The Berserker, I feel like I had in 2020, I did like a fake honeymoon with Danny during that time. And we went up there and we tried all the Oradoc beers and all the Black Rocks beer and all the breweries that are up in the UP. Some of my favorites, though, clearly Black Rocks, so damn good. Some of the best beer you'll ever get. And then Oradoc has crazy good quality as well. So Berserker, I reviewed it like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago or something. I don't know. And then I had it in 2020, but don't really remember that week because we did so much hiking and so many sightseeing events and so many brew tours. It was ridiculous. But Berserker, 7.5%. Amarillo Simcoe Mosaic. Uh, Canned on date. Doesn't say, but I felt like I saw it on the other cans where it was fairly fresh, but I don't know. Let me check this out. This is just more of like a chilling with Dan kind of Saturday. My daughter's literally hanging in the swing over there. I'm on daddy duty. I thought, what would be a better way to fill my time while she's sleeping? Just kind of connecting with you guys and giving you a more personal video rather than just review after review after review. So yeah, my daughter was born 7 months ago, almost to the day, getting close. And they say, I know it's a cliche, it's the best thing that'll ever happen to you, but really, it truly was one of the best things to ever happen to me in my life. Me and my wife have been together since 2011. I mean, married since 2020, but we wanted to have kids. We knew we did, and clearly it was worth it. It was something that you need a strong person to do it with because if you only are a single parent, man, I don't know how you do it. It doesn't make any sense in my mind. But that's been a really fun thing, except for recently, which she regressed in sleeping. So me and Danny are not really sleeping that well. I'm getting like 3 hour blocks of sleep, and then I just wake up and she's crying in the crib. And other than that, she's been an awesome blessing, guys. So she's doing great. Kennedy's awesome. Um, Knox, my dog. Unfortunately, my dog was born with kidney failure, and I got him less than 3 years ago. And unfortunately, last week to the day, we had to put him down. Just one of the toughest weeks of my whole life, me and my wife. Man, we loved that dog so much, and he was my buddy. He was literally born with terrible kidneys that just did not work. Um, so it was one of the saddest weeks of my life because he was doing so well for so long. And then 2 weeks ago, almost to the day, he just started this drastic decline where he wasn't eating, he wasn't getting up, he wasn't drinking water, and it was really a tough thing to watch. I don't like watching animals suffer. I don't like watching someone of my own suffering. I consider my dog my son, and he was and still is, always will be. And that was a tough week, man. So we unfortunately had to put my dog down last Saturday, and that's been a tough ride for sure. That was not the funnest week of my life. But it was definitely a blast to have those 2 3 years with him, and they gave him 2 to 3 years to live, and they were right. So we knew it was coming. It just most of his life he pretended that everything was fine, and we did so well for so long that it was just an unfortunate downturn. But that was a really tough week last week, and so we did have him cremated, and we got the ashes back literally yesterday. So um, yeah, I know anybody who's ever had an animal understands the grief and the grieving and all the things that come with it. And that was a tough week, man. But on to better things. I know that we're just hanging out. We don't want to make this a depressing video, but if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I used to show my dog a lot, and you you won't be seeing him anymore. So I'm sad to say that. But back to beer. Been working out a little bit more. Been trying to get this back. Used to be pretty shredded, man, but this beer stuff, I tell you what, it'll mess your whole diet up. So, in moderation, I don't want to stop completely. I don't think that's a sustainable way to live. Um, but I'm definitely trying to reel it back a little bit. We're going to try to have just a few beers a week that we truly finish. So today I've actually had a couple. That's definitely on the upper end of the spectrum for what I try to do nowadays. But yeah, yeah, dad bod. Yeah, man, it's rough being that's one of the hardest parts actually of being a dad is dealing with the dad bod that comes with it. You stop making time for yourself, and everything's about the baby, everything's about the next feeding and changing diapers, and your time goes away. I go to work, and then I come home and I'm just immediately on dad duty. So right now she just happens to be sleeping. So I thought I would do something different, integrate that into a video form. But yeah, it's just it's a lot of work to take your ass to the gym, and I have been doing that about 3 4 times a week. My wife's great; she's been awesome. So Dan live, yeah, man, Joe Beer Patrol, good to see you, bud. We should do a live together one of these times. I feel like we really need to do that. So shout out to Joe Beer Patrol. If you don't know Joe, you obviously do. I don't need to tell you. If you're watching me, you've watched Joe many years before you've watched me. So dad bod, working on that, probably trying to lose some weight, at least 10 15 pounds, would ideally like to lose 30. I lost 70 like 10 years ago, and then slowly just put it back on because, well, you guessed it, beer and a really poor diet. So correcting my diet 100%. And then the beer will just slowly integrate that, per week. We'll just try to tame it and keep it even. We won't do anything nuts about the beer. Don't want to cut it off completely. And man, this is still a good beer from the UP. Really good quality water is what I always notice. And I think they even note that. What water wants to be. It's the freshest, best water you can ever get from Superior and Lake Superior up north. You guys, if you know Lake Michigan, Lake Superior is like a freaking ocean, man. It's like the best quality cold water you'll ever get. So this at 7.5% is fantastic, super tasty. I enjoy this one. It's like almost got a wheat softness to it, but it's still in the New England style category. So super citrusy, yet slightly dank and slightly herbaceous and kind of grassy, hoppy, floral. Really tasty. Yeah, so back to my life. Working out, we're working on those things. We're getting better day by day. We've lost like 4 or 5 pounds. Started about 2 3 weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago. Just trying to make it a sustainable life. It can't be this overnight success. That's the thing with losing weight. You can do these yo-yo diets, but you're eventually going to gain the weight back unless you legitimately change your lifestyle and your eating habits. You need to do that to make sustainable changes and make them long-term changes. So working on those things very slowly, and hopefully we can drop another 20 30 pounds. Things go well. So other things to note, I kind of wrote a couple of things. Going downstate next week for a friend's wedding, one of my good friends' wedding. That'll be in Wyandotte. So I'm going to probably check out the beer company down there, Wyandotte Brewing Company or Beer Company. Never been there, never seen it, never heard of it, but I know it's right by our hotel, so I'm gonna check that out and see how that goes. Obviously, when me and Danny travel, we like go way out of our way to check new breweries out, so that will be on the agenda. Um, I think on the way down through Flint, though, there is a brewery called Tenacity. And I'm going to go ahead and go out of my way right off 75, not too far out of the way. And I'm going to check that place out for about an hour or 2 hours with Danny. So we're kidless. It's going to be the first time we travel without a child. And we're going to be able to sleep without hearing child crying in the background and worrying about baby. So that'll be a lot of fun. We're going to see a few friends, and that should be a really fun weekend. And I guess content wise, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should. Instagram is going to be Poor Michigan Beer. I have a pretty solid following, like 2,300 followers or 22 and change. I've done pretty well on there, but kind of stagnant. I don't do the reels. I don't do any of that stuff. I should. I've done them occasionally, but I don't do them consistently. And obviously, trying new things today, doing a live on YouTube. I don't typically do lives. But again, trying to make this a little bit more personal on my life. So, and another thing going forward is I have on the agenda one day, and I don't know when this day will come. I'd love to do a podcast. I know the podcast category is so overplayed and oversaturated, but I'd love to like invite a guest or friend or family onto the podcast, and we could review a beer or a beverage or something together. That would kind of reel in the beer category and get their opinion on what they feel about that beverage as like an outsider that doesn't know anything about it. So like, what would someone say about this who loves, Bud Light? They probably freaking hate it, but it's cool to get those other opinions. So I'd like to get those opinions someday. And get a podcast together where we talk sports and we talk about other things that are not so niche as beer. So we are looking into doing that soon as well. Yeah, you should, man. It seems like you have like guests on your channel a lot on the Beverage Hunter. So, and you do like different drinks and energy drinks and different products. And I kind of like that idea too, because beer is so niche, and I feel like you can only go so far with that unless you're like the top 1%, which I'm never going to be the top 1% because I don't put that much effort into it or that much research into it. And no one really is ever going to love me that much anyways, being the top 1%. So unless you're that good, I feel like if you want to continue down this path of YouTube or beer tubing or whatever it is, and you want to take it a step further, I feel like you need to break outside your niche, which maybe one day I will. Maybe I'll have a better setup where there's something going on in the background and there's an actual setup in the office and blah, blah, blah. And that'd be a lot of fun. So that's on the agenda. Maybe the Poor Michigan podcast. We'll see. I don't know if it'll actually come to fruition, but someday I hope to do that and talk more about sports. That leads me into my TikTok account, which I'm embarrassed to say I have a TikTok account. I've had it since like 2020, and I could never find a sector that liked me until like this last September, like 2 months ago. I literally made a video about the Detroit Lions. And it went semi-viral, and it has like 130,000 views, and it had like 10,000 comments, and it was kind of nuts. So I've kind of started different content where I stream things about the Detroit Lions, and it seems to get a lot of grab and a lot of grip. And every video I post could get between 600 to 10,000 views. It's just this crazy like teeter totter of quality and this teeter totter of viewership. TikTok is tough. I just started cutting our videos into trim for that. Yeah, man. I mean, I kind of tried to do beer content on TikTok. I just don't think the kids give a shit about it. So I just kind of didn't go down that avenue. Maybe I could, or maybe I could integrate beer into that somehow. I've done like a few funny one-off videos about beer related content, but they never took off. So I kind of had that TikTok in the background, but I mean, if you look me up on TikTok, it's just Dan Derajota, so it's my name, my full name. I've got like, I don't know, I had like 500 followers, and now I have like 20 something hundred. I don't even know what I'm at. It might be like 2,300 or something. And it was all because of this Detroit Lions controversy where I was talking about how they're going to be awesome, and I don't want you to be a bandwagon fan because they're sick this year, and just yada yada yada. I made it before the season even started, and then it just blew up. So it doesn't have millions of views, but it has like 130,000, which is kind of cool. So if you look me up on TikTok, I'm on there. But other than that, guys, I mean, this was just kind of a Saturday hangout. I would love for somebody, I know I don't have anybody really watching this right now, but if you do watch this later, like Joe, the Beer Patrol, he kind of was in for a minute. Tell me if you want to do like a live together. Like I feel like doing a review together with the same beer would be a lot of fun. Like yeah, I'm in Michigan, but maybe some of you are in Wisconsin or Pennsylvania or Rhode Island or Florida or something because I feel like we have all these connections that we don't use and it'd be a lot of fun to actually utilize those connections and maybe turn it into content. I'd love to do a live with you guys. I just don't know how to. I just don't know what the right path to go down to do that is. I don't know if anybody's actually interested in doing that, and maybe it's not even beer. Maybe it's just a freaking product like a Monster or something energy drink. I don't care, man. If I have time, I'll do it. But the hardest part's having time. When I'm a dad, I work. We own a family business. We work a lot of hours. It'd be a lot of fun once we hit the 1K, we go live. Yeah, man, I would 100% join you for sure. And thanks for watching because not many people. There's only been like 5, 6 people at one time, and then you've been kind of watching. So I appreciate that, man. I would do it with you for sure. I'm not opposed to co-content. Like I feel like that just adds to. Oh, did we lose connection? There we go. This was just a Saturday hangout. It was just to kind of give you personal life information, something more one on one, whether you watched it live or you watched it later. I appreciate you being here, and maybe we can do more things like this. Maybe we can progress together and do something fun together. Whoever you may be out there, I'm so open to doing more content related beer content, non-beer content. I'm definitely open to that. So, guys, it's been the Saturday Hangs with Dan. My daughter is waking up, so it's probably time to just chill, sip this beer, and be a responsible human being the rest of the evening. So, hope you got some quality information. I will definitely check back in and do a live soon. Maybe we'll start doing like Saturday Hangouts or something, and I'll have something a little bit more put together rather than just on the fly, just writing crap down and talking with you guys. So, it makes it fun. But till next time, guys, I'll drop a little bit more content tonight. I'll probably have one beer to review and one more beer drop that I have to do. So we'll see where it goes. We'll keep the content rolling. I am over and out. Unless you want to join me on live, you got to message me, and I will do that per your request. So you guys just let me know. I'm Dan. I'm over and out. Cheers.